College football, we'll stay on it. I think we'll have time for both as long as we go at a good tempo. We're
I
gonna do
only have a list of my college.
NFL's a lot easier. I found it took me a while for
You
college.
want college and NFL? I did not see that on the notes.
I did put two. I put either today if time or next week your top 10 NFL teams as well.
I can do NFL pretty fast. I got my college one already set.
All right, we're going to start
my NFL one off the dome right now.
Don't buy NFL one off
Do you need a second
right
before we start college?
Nope. Just
I'm ready for college. While we're doing college, I'll do NFL.
All right, so they're wondering what we're doing. We're ranking top 10 college football teams. It's like the AP top 10. We're not doing 25. That's way too many teams and nobody knows. But before the official polls are out, I thought, let's put it out there. Let's put some skin in the game. We always bitch about the rankings and how wrong they get them. Let's just predict. So I don't know. How did you guys do it? Did you just say who you think's best, or did you factor in like easier schedules or not? Or did you just be like, who do I think's the best team?
I just went like who I think is the best teams. I didn't. There's some teams on here that I haven't even looked at their schedule. Couldn't even tell you.
I just went with what I think the rankings will
There's
be
some bias
at the end of the
in
season.
here, but
I think I subconsciously did that, Alex. That's why I looked a little bit at schedules to be like, ooh, if that team has a gauntlet, maybe they won't end up top 10. But I guess that's not really what the exercise is.
Oh,
it's however you want to do it, Evan. There's no wrong answers.
No, I'm looking
color outside the lines.
I'm on NFL.
Okay.
I'm literally just trying to think of good NFL teams right now, though. So it's kind of weird. I don't want to put somebody in the wrong spot and then you guys judge. Where college, it's amateur athletes.
It's anyone's game. All right. Well, when we get to the NFL one, I can start that one so you guys can. That way you don't miss any or that you're thinking. But we'll start with college football. Let's rein it in here. We'll start at 10, work our way down to 1. I'll go first with 10 because I think it might get an audible reaction from Evan. I left Penn State at 10 in my rankings. I left him at 10. Yep, I knew it. He wasn't going to like it.
Dumb choice.
I left him there. What did you guys have?
I had Penn State at 10.
Oh, that hurts. That's a great setup.
They have a easy schedule.
I have Utah at number 10.
Oh, that's a little quirky.
What day is our fantasy draft up?
31st of August.
31st.
First day of college football. Literally the first day of
week 1.
Week 1, we're going to win so much freaking money.
Not 0. Evan, I think it's a safe pick. Utah will probably win the Big 12. I was looking at their depth chart. Cam Rising, 7th year of school. The kid refuses to leave.
ACLs, never heard of him.
Kyle Whittingham, winding down his career, too. They might play for him extra hard.
Successor. They already announced his successor.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator, I think, right?
Yeah.
I love that for Utah. That feels like a program that would do that. Okay, 9. I went with LSU. I know they lost their Heisman quarterback, which scares me, and they lost multiple elite wide receivers, Malik Neighbors being the most notable.
And their offensive coordinator.
But I have a hard time. I think Brian Kelly for his
defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but that was a good thing. That was a addition by subtraction. I just have a hard time believing that Brian Kelly is not going to have a consistently good year. And they hired, I think, Missouri's defensive coordinator to be theirs. So they really revamped their defensive staff. And I think it's going to be they're not as flashy on offense, but I think their defense is going to make up for it. And they have Harold Perkins. And we're going to have a bounce back here from Harold Perkins because he's too good to have another sophomore slump type year.
I'll tell you right now, I want Harold Perkins in the draft for the Lions.
Agreed.
He's a great player.
Him and Jack Campbell can be your cornerstones.
I saw a mock draft, and he was at pick 25, and we were picking at 29 or something, and I was like, that's close enough. I want him.
My hot take is I bet after their new defensive coordinator, I bet he's back in the top 10.
Oh,
I bet he's just going to absolutely ball out.
He's going to run a 4.3 something 40, and then he's going to be a top 10 pick. It's going to be
They tried to make him a true inside linebacker last year. This is not. Harold Perkins needs to play on the edge of the formation. All right. Yeah. So I got LSU. Sorry, you guys. What did you guys have for 9?
9 is Clemson.
Oh my God, that's surprising to me.
I had him at 11.
Who's the
Clemson
quarterback?
is still very talented, no matter what they have.
Cade Klubnik.
Yeah. Oh, Klubnik.
They are still very talented. They still get some of the best recruits in the country. It's just that they haven't won the ACC, so everybody just is writing them off. But they do have to play Georgia week 1, so good luck.
Kind of feels like I mean, obviously, when you talk about Dabo, his legacy is cemented with the dynasty he has had and currently has. But it feels like if he has another poo year, that it's going to be a lot of like, hey, what are we doing here for the back half of your career? Like, is it time to go to a new school? I don't think they'll ever get rid of him, I guess, because they did have a dynasty that rivaled Alabama for that short stretch. But I don't know.
I feel like I don't know like Clemson very well. It's just NIL. Like, can Clemson get enough money through all of its boosters each single year to pay players? That's how I see it.
What was his NIL like Jesus quote?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Oh my god, it was so funny. Well, yeah, we're built on God's name, image, and likeness. It's so good. Alex, your number 9 team.
I have. Now, this may be surprising because they lost their quarterback, and he was a pretty good one. He's going to a good team. I'm taking Oklahoma to finish 9th. I feel like they've been written off. They're still a really good program. They have Jackson Arnold, I believe, the quarterback.
Hey, Arnold, good player.
He's pretty good. And looking at their schedule,
they beat Texas.
They have Alabama at home. They have Texas, obviously, they always do. And then they have LSU on the road as their like 3 hard games. I think if they win one of them, go 10-2, they're easily in the top 10.
Is this Venables' 3rd year there?
Yeah, and I think he's a good coach.
Me too.
So I on believe the right side in of the Sooners. Too. They got some solid recruits. They got the kid that Michigan State thought they had a chance with that they didn't. He's supposed to be pretty good. Edge rusher. Don't even remember his name, but
they got Barrow too, right? Didn't he go there? Or no?
He went to Miami.
No. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I got confused with the guy you're talking about.
But either way, they have a ton of talent, and they were pretty close last year. They just, it's year 2. So now year 3, I think they're ready to go.
Yeah, it pains me to do it to you guys every year, but I love rooting on their side for the Red River Shootout. I love it. I don't know. There's something about OU. It's
always on Texas side.
Everyone here hates Oklahoma. I don't know why, but I guess I know why. But
yeah,
what would Oklahoma do to anybody?
I don't know. Just have twisters, I guess. Okay, number 8. I went with Evans QB 1, not Auburn. Don't spit out your drink. I went with Florida State. People forget DJU is with Florida State. They did lose some pieces, but I mean, they just reload. I think we talked about one show. They have an advantage being in SEC country, but not an SEC school because there's some restrictions on SEC transfers, especially in like the spring window. So they have some pick of the litter when it comes to some transfers. Like if you drop out of an SEC school, Florida State, a big premier program you can go play at. I think Mike Norvell is legit. I think last year proved that for him. And they have a huge chip on their shoulder with how they got treated last year by the committee. Not saying it was the wrong decision, whatever, but they got to be fired up. And I believe in DJU.
I have 11-1 Florida State also at this spot.
Nice. Their schedule is pretty cheeks as well. Yeah, they have a nice ACC schedule.
I think they lose to maybe one game.
I have... sorry. Pause. I have Missouri at number 8.
Oh, wow.
I hate that.
Big jump.
I'll be honest.
Good.
I hate to align with Alex, but I hate that too.
I don't hate that because you picked them. I just think that like last year for them was so fluky, and I don't believe in them whatsoever.
I don't think they are fluky.
Because I think their coach is a clown.
Alex, you do hate Drinkwitz. You do.
He's getting recruits to Missouri. So
yes, he's paying for them, and
it's paying off. They have one of the best wide receivers in all of college football.
They probably have the best. They do.
But he's one of my favorite players, so I'll back that.
I don't believe in them. Maybe
a great name too.
Schedule.
But defense, you got to think maybe the defense slips a little bit that they lost their LSU, but the offense should be there. Interesting stadium. They're probably time for an upgraded football stadium because I remember from video games, it's pretty small.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, they don't even have it filled in on the end zones on the sides. Okay. Number 7, People can't call me a homer. I think this is pretty damn fair. I'm putting Michigan at number 7. I mean, Alex, there's only so many teams.
I have Michigan at 7.
Okay.
I don't know why we have all the same.
Now, to be fair, the risk reward here, they could easily finish outside the top 10 because you just don't know about QB. So that's the tough part with this one. But I think to be respectful to the national champions, 7 feels fair. They still also have probably 3 of the top 5 or 6 defensive players in the country on that side of the ball. And if your defense can travel, you're going to stay in football games. It's just, you'd have no idea at quarterback. No idea.
I'm just not ready to write them off quite yet. It would be dumb, and I would hate to say that they will suck and then they don't and hear about it.
But you can't wait to. You can't wait to
I can't wait for them to fall apart. Yes, I do want that.
That first pick 6 against Texas is going to hit like crack.
Their defensive line, though, is good enough to keep them in games. They don't leave Ann Arbor for 100 weeks. They still have they have a tough schedule, but they got a lot of games at home.
Tough schedule.
So, yeah, I mean, they could probably go 9-3 and be 7th in the country with their schedule. So,
9-3 backdoor playoff would be a rousing success for Sherrone Moore year 1. Would take that in a second.
I could see it.
If Sherrone Moore's the head coach.
Correct.
Number 7,
I think they go 10-2.
I have Notre Dame at 7.
Boo.
Easy schedule.
I do like Riley Leonard, though. Schedule.
They have a veteran quarterback. They stole LSU's offensive coordinator.
They will be 0-1.
They are beating Texas A&M. You're so stupid.
Might have to be a dozen egg bet. We might put a dozen eggs on the line for that game.
If they do lose, I just want you to remember this moment.
You said remember this moment?
Yeah, just remember this.
I mean, I think we'll talk about it the week of for sure.
I'm sure we're
we've talked about it already twice.
Quote, that's already. So stupid is what he just mouthed under his breath. So just remember.
I don't know why that's the best part about off-season debates. They have nothing good for him.
He likes Elmer Fudd.
I mean,
he does. He wanted him to be the head coach.
Mike Elko, good coach.
Speaking of the coaching carousel, number 6, I have Alabama. I love Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a dog. I love his story. And they also have probably the most explosive player under center in the country. So I'm going to ride with that.
Oh my gosh, LOL. Forgot Alabama on my list. 2 weeks in a row, forgot a team. I'm sticking with it. Well, Alabama's ranked 11th. I'm sticking with it. You never know.
They can falter.
Sticking with it.
We're on 6.
Yep.
I have Ole Miss.
Ooh, the Rebel
dog. Yes,
Lane Train. I know I've been tied on the Lane Train as well.
Oh yeah, I am.
Me too.
Number 6, I have Florida State. DJU, baby.
You were making it seem like you didn't like Florida State at all, but instead you had him way up.
Veteran quarterback. It's college football.
Playing it coy. He's playing it coy.
You're 6 for him.
Overrated.
You'll see.
All right. Number 5, speaking of veteran quarterbacks, maybe where mine gets a little spicy. I had to go out on a limb. I'm putting Texas at 5. I got Hookem right here at 5. I feel like they've lost a lot, but it's not that disrespectful. They're still 5. Oh, you as well, Alex?
I have Texas at number 5 as well.
I think first year in the SEC, I would imagine there's going to be a little bit of a humble pie, sir. But maybe I'll tell you this. If they just run through the SEC and they're in that title game and they win that, it would be one of the more impressive things I've ever seen in a college football season. Because that's just, I know they're Texas and they were in the playoff last year, but going to the SEC is a different beast no matter what they want to say about their prestige. It would be very impressive.
I mean, I think they go 11-1 and don't make the SEC championship.
Are they doing divisions still? No.
I have no idea.
They'd have to make it.
No.
Who else would be going 11-1? 12-0.
My next 2 teams.
If someone goes 12-0 in the SEC this year, then power to them.
Number 5, I have Ole Miss.
Nice.
Good
Alex already touched on them. Veteran quarterback, Lane Train. I think they got pieces, offensive pieces. They did lose their running back. However, I think offensive play calling scheme. They're getting better every single year.
Remember the name right now. It's a great name. Ulysses Bentley IV. The running back that is taking over Quinshon Judkins, and he is going to be a dog.
Jackson Dart.
Fun fact about Jackson Dart, I don't know if it's good or bad, but there was a TikTok that leaked recently that he cheated on his long-term girlfriend and they broke up. So I don't know how that impacts someone's stock going into the season. But I guess, we don't condone it, but that's just the news. For 4, I'll just get it out of the way. Ole Miss. I'm going to be highest on them. I have Jackson Dart to win the Heisman at plus 2,000 odds. I made that bet a long time ago. He's a prototypical Ole Miss quarterback. Their receiving room is like what LSU's was, I think, last year. And they just hammered the portal. Hopefully these guys have good attitude adjustments and they're disciplined for Lane, which worries me. But on paper, they have the NFL talent on both sides of the ball and in the trenches to compete. Maybe their offensive line could be a little shaky, I don't know, but their defensive line should be nasty if the guys that they got out of the portal bring it. So I'm all in on Ole Miss.
I got Texas at 4.
Hook 'em.
That's a little low for you.
Well, I think the 3 teams above them are just better.
I have
Texas lost a shit ton of players.
Yes.
I have the Jalen Milroe train.
Alabama
at 4.
Alabama.
I believe in Kalen DeBoer.
Let a naysayer know.
Jesus.
Lank. What'd you say, Alex, about the end? You have Alabama what?
I have them 4. I believe in Kalen DeBoer.
Ooh, that rhymed. That was nice.
Put on a t-shirt.
Okay. All right. Now this is where you could call me biased. I have Ohio State at 3.
No.
That's where I'm keeping them.
I was
looking at big boards earlier today, and the early ones, they by far have like the most picks in like the top 150. Just a stupid amount. They remind me of Michigan last year, where they brought back every single senior that was like, no, I'll run it back one more. The biggest question with them is like, do you believe in Will Howard?
Yes.
Whereas Michigan had J.J. McCarthy already ready to go. That's the biggest thing to me.
Yes.
Do you believe in Chip Kelly? What do you believe about their staff?
Oh my gosh, quarterback power with Ohio State is just going to give everybody just something, butterflies and something a little bit more in their pants when they're watching it on TV.
It could be. They could steamroll everyone, but right now I'm playing a little bit cautious because I just could see them screwing something up.
I have Georgia at 3. Why?
I have Georgia at 3 as well.
Just because
the best player in college football over the last 5 years is now playing for the Raiders. He's not on Georgia anymore.
Not a Carson Beck guy. Not a real big believer in him.
Carson Beck's going to be the number 1 quarterback drafted in next year, so you better be a believer in Carson Beck. He's tall. He's got the prototype quarterback, and he's got a great arm.
Do you think DeBoer could get Milroe in that conversation though, or no?
No, he can't
think so.
Could he be like Anthony Richardson?
No, he is 0 throwing ability. Right?
Okay, I'm just asking questions.
But he's electric. He's got the flash.
He's incredible when he runs the ball. It's insane. You think no one can tackle him?
So I got Georgia at 3. They also play in the SEC.
They have a tough schedule.
Clemson to start the year.
They play Clemson, then they have to play Texas, then they have to play Alabama.
They're going to drop a game. So
they do play Florida. I know Florida's supposed to be down this year, but you still have to play. You still have to get up for going to Jacksonville and playing Florida.
If they lose to Clemson, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be beside myself.
Yeah, I would be stunned. But
you shouldn't be because they're kids, but I would be. I would be actually stunned. I felt confident.
That game's played in Atlanta, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a home game for the Dogs. Fine, I'll be the Georgia stan this year, whatever.
Just 2. I'm sick of them.
I have Oregon at 2. I basically think they have a similar talent level to Ohio State. I just trust their quarterback a smidge more right now. That's all.
2, I have Ohio State. I've been so in the weeds. I'm so high on Will Howard and Ohio State that I've been in the weeds on like the blogs. Well, not really the blogs. It's just like Ohio State Twitter accounts, and then they tweet pictures of like camp, like tweets, and it was like Will Howard had a 65-yard touchdown run the other day at practice. Just FYI for you guys. Against 1v1s.
Are you a Will Howard guy? Like,
yes, he loves him. Did you not?
I'm going all in on him. You guys are haters. I just love big quarterbacks.
I'm not a hater on Will Howard.
No, you guys are haters.
No. You love Josh Allen then.
I love Josh Allen. I love DJU. I love Will Howard.
What a weird take. Evan's got these weird people he dies for. Like, why
I would take Will Howard as the backup for the Lions.
No one's 100%. Even dumped on Will Howard, so I don't know why you like him so much.
Fantastic.
Is there a little underline here where you're going to ride the Ohio State so Michigan fans have to suffer watching them win a title the year after they win theirs?
Surely
that's it. This? It has to be. It feels a little bit vindictive.
I mean, yeah, but Ohio State went all in and paid for a new roster. Paid for talent.
They really did. They got Caleb Downs from Alabama. It's unbelievable.
There's that word again.
What it is. No, it is.
It's phenomenal.
They also got Quinshon Judkins, who's arguably the best running back in college football as well.
Yeah, he's a locker room cancer waiting to happen, though. I can't wait to watch that blow up.
They got TreVeyon Henderson, Evan's Heisman pick as well.
My Heisman pick from 2 years.
He may not even get carries, Evan.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
So
I'm
stupid.
kidding. He will.
I fell for the thing that Ryan Day said, we got to get back to running the football. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to work great.
It'll be the Corman Edwards show, pretty much, but just in Columbus.
I think Ohio State's just so extremely talented.
And it's insanely talented.
Chip Kelly calling the offense, I think it's going to do wonders night and day.
The only questions I have, if you were going to poke holes in it.
Ohio State has a running quarterback now. The dual threat matters in college football.
The only threat, and this is for we're talking college football playoff, but when they run into an SEC squad that can blow up their offensive line, can Will Howard, I know they have Egbuka and the freshman Jeremiah Smith, but that receiving room is as light as it's been. The Ohio State room is as light as it's been, I would say.
Cam Fleming. You still have...
Who?
Ohio State's receiving room?
Julian left.
Their room.
Or is there a different Fleming?
Oh, Julian Fleming left.
Carnell Tate, star.
They have a true freshman who's going to start, Jeremiah Smith. He's supposed to be maybe better than Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
So if he is, then sure. But
you have two running backs. You don't need that many wide receivers on the field. You always have a tight end because it's your Chip Kelly's offense.
No Cade Stover to rely on. Who is their tight end?
He's so freaking slow.
He was, but he was good. I mean, any Ohio State fan would go to war for him.
Yeah.
It's hard. We're nitpicking. They're so good. Alex, who'd you have here?
I have
at 2.
Scoducks at 2.
Oregon at 2.
Would like to put them
which
1.
Means you have Ohio State at 1.
Yeah.
Naughty boy.
Yeah, I have Ohio State at 1, so I guess I'm the biggest Ohio State stan on this podcast, not Evan.
I'd say so. Who's Evan's 1? Oregon, then?
My number 1 is the Oregon Fighting Ducks.
Wow, look at the Big Ten. My number 1's Georgia, so I went with the Dogs.
Grant, the Big Ten won the national championship last year.
Well, because they had a once-in-a-generation type team.
I think Ohio State and Oregon have that potential.
Maybe, but neither of their quarterbacks is as good as number 9.
Lonnie Thurman's the starting tight end for Ohio State.
We recruited him.
He's 6'6", sophomore, 70th overall prospect in 2023 class.
He's from Ohio.
They don't give Heisman trophies to running backs, but ETN on Georgia that just poached from Florida is going to have a hell of a season. He might. They like to split carries, but they just might ride him into the ground. Now I don't know who's catching the ball for them because McConkey's gone, and he was a star as well. As much as Brock Bowers got hyped up,
incredible receivers lately.
That's true. Well,
they
did have Adonis. They had a Mitchell before he went to Texas.
Ohio State type of wide receiver rooms.
100%. You're right on that. And then I'm sure they'll just pop defensive players on a tree. As long as they stay off the streets, apparently every other day it feels like they're getting the crazy driving stuff. But that means their team's got a little bit of edge to them, a little bit of craziness. So we'll see.